Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Paul's Monday Market Update 197 for Monday, 29th of September 2025. As always, you're very welcome here, but just remember that you're always responsible for your own trading decisions. This is CCL, Carnival Corporation, Carnival, the cruise liner company. Okay, so even though it's my birthday at the weekend, I'm not at an age where a cruise sort of appeals to me, but I know lots of others do. I've met friends of mine recently who are docking recently or docking locally on global cruises, etc. My general view is, if they're happy, more power to them. Wouldn't be my idea of a good time, but listen, each to their own. You pay your money, you make your choice. Now, of course, those of us who've been coming to these events for in the 5 years I've been running them know that Carnival during COVID, the share price collapsed because, of course, of what was going on. Literally, A, basically nobody's going on holiday. B, the cruise liners were basically full of COVID, weren't they? Sort of kept out of bays and stuff and not allowed, and there was an awful lot of reputational damage done that way. But you can see that, there has been a kind of a gradual move, even as I said, from those lows earlier. We've pushed our way back above $30, okay, which is good. Now, they are announcing their earnings, I think, before open today. Maybe it's even coming out now. But the kind of thing I'm curious about here is, I look at this as, we have been clearly $30 has been a relevant number. We've been pivoting about it. I would look at that as a bit of a double top there. Okay, that's a double top up at just under the soft underbelly of 33. And I would be just looking at, now we're looking at to see, well, hang on a minute. Okay, how have we sort of, we're sat on 30 again. That number is a little bit of indecision, which is probably no surprise from last week. Okay, if you've got earnings on today. So I'll be intrigued to see, whether those numbers are good. Is the American consumer feeling strong enough that they're buying lots of cruises, in which case price runs higher? Or are we starting to see basically cost of living, tariffs, job losses, etc., start eating even deeper into consumer spending, discretionary spending, in which case things like Carnivals are, going to be one of the first things to cut. So, as I said, I'll be interested to see what their numbers are. If they're great, well, 30 becomes support, and we rally higher. If those numbers are poor, I think we break 30, and then you're looking at sort of 28, this kind of area here as your first move, as your first target. So, as I said, you might want to add that to watch list and see how that plays out over the next 24 hours.